Ground ball weakly hit, should be 2. Keishel to Lee, back to first in time for the tailor-made double play. Nicely turned.
Byron smashes this ball deep into the left field corner. That one's back towards the fence, and it's off the base of the wall. Byron looping around first, looping towards second. He slides in with a crisp leadoff double.
Today's game was brought to you by Target, proud partner of the Minnesota Twins. Derek Shelton, signing off.
This has been a presentation of the Treasure Island Baseball Network.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I think it's absolutely flawless. Whoever's idea was that is a genius.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
The Twins win it. The Twins have won 3 of their last 4 series. Pretty fun. Sunny, loud-sounding crowd at Target Field today. It's Jason. Welcome to Drive Time. Sort of a shorter version because of that Twins game, which actually, Dan, now there's a selfish reason for me to be asking this question, but there might be people in their cars on their way home from the Twins game right now. Since the advent of the pitch clock, games have gotten shorter, and I wonder, do you feel a little ripped off when you go to a 2-hour and 15-minute baseball game? I mean, if you show up right around first pitch, you barely have time to get, what's the max number of hot dogs and beers you can get in you? In 2 hours and 15 minutes?
I think that varies.
It varies. But I don't want to say it's too short.
Kind of feels like that's what you're saying.
If I bought a ticket, I would think it was too short. I would think it was too short. I don't know. Am I being stupid about this? 651-461-9226. Were you there today? And maybe you don't feel ripped off if they win. Maybe you're like, it's fine. And maybe it's worth the trade-off for games that would linger on into being 4-hour productions that now they're 3. You know what I mean? Overall, I think the pitch clock has been the greatest rules change in sports. It's made baseball much more enjoyable on television, on the radio. But 2 hours and 15 minutes is, I don't know, it feels a little short to me. Dennis is in Annandale. Dennis, were you at the game?
I was.
Is it too short? 2:15 is pretty quick.
Well, actually, I'm from Annandale, and I was at the Twins game, so it's a beautiful thing to get out of downtown.
You're dodging rush hour. That's a good point, Dennis. Maybe
I am. I want to bring you back to a conversation from quite a while ago that you had.
Sure.
Our section, we had a bunch of kids. There were tons of kids there today, and the kids left in the 5th inning. We were in the sun, so those 3 rows filled up with people who didn't pay tickets for there.
Oh.
Now you said that was okay.
I did.
And I tried to call in, but it was a short segment. I didn't get it. Anyway, I don't like it, and I don't like it for 2 reasons. You think, there's no skin off anybody's nose. My 2 reasons are, first, I like to be a rule follower, and I think we want our kids to be rule followers. So I wish everybody else would be a rule follower. That's the lesser of the 2 points.
Right.
The real point is I paid money for those seats. Why shouldn't I buy, $7 seats in the outfield and just sit wherever I
you
want?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been holding that for a long time, Jason.
I know. I'm glad. Dennis, I'm glad you got to get it off your chest. My point,
Thank you.
My suggestion to you would be, or my pushback would be, was your enjoyment of the seat that you paid for impacted in any way by the fact that the people in front of you, this is a you problem. You inflicted this sort of negative energy on yourself by choosing to care about this, right?
That is true. That is true.
Yeah.
It is. Painful is too strong of a word, but I'll use it anyway. It's painful nonetheless, wherever it's coming from.
Yeah, I think that's. I get where you're coming from. I get it. On a logical level, you think, I paid for this. I paid for this seat, and now these freeloaders are sliding in.
Interlopers is what I call them.
Yeah.
Well, and I told my seatmates today that if I win the Powerball, I have 3 seats, 3 season ticket seats. I'm going to buy the 3 seats in front of me and the 3 seats behind me.
I
And
always
keep
think
it clear.
like that's pure wealth, right? Like the people who buy the seats around them on the airplane, the people who buy that's pretty good. I think about that like with a house, right? Like if you really hit it big, wouldn't it be nice to like buy the 2 houses next to you just so you don't have anybody annoying you next door?
Yep.
Dennis,
Well, I'll tell you what, Jason.
Yeah.
Having you understand is plenty. I don't need agreement. That's just plenty.
That's all. That's what we try to do here. We at least if we can understand where other people are coming from. You still can disagree. It's all good. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate you. Dennis got to see a win, so he's in good spirits. It's an interesting conundrum, and it does go to a topic that we're going to discuss a little later in the show today about the cheaters at the MNPASS lane. Because I am not a cheater.
No.
I use the MNPASS lane. I flip the little transponder on to pay for it. But the number of people cheating, honestly, knocked my socks off.
Eyebrow raising, I believe, is the term.
I was stunned. I enjoy. I'm glad. First of all, Dennis, thank you for listening. Second of all, thank you for hanging on to that. That's
impressive. I think it's been a minute since we had that discussion.
My theory, especially in the early parts of the season, is that you should be able to move down. Like if you buy an up, I know this makes you so upset.
I'm with Dennis. I think he's 100% right.
My enjoyment of whatever I spend on a ticket is 0% impacted by what anybody else is doing. I don't care. Let me make the converse argument that not only is it not negatively impacted, I, in a positive way, would prefer people to be filled in and sitting around me and having a baseball crowd experience.
And I call that false magnanimity on your part. And here's why. If you bought a watch and you paid $1,500 for that watch and you were very fond of that watch, you liked that watch, and you were okay paying $1,500 for that watch because you think that watch is worth $1,500.
Yeah.
And your neighbor comes to you a week later and said, look at this cool watch I just got for $1,000, and it's the same exact watch. You're going to sit there and with an honest look on your face try to tell me that wouldn't bug you.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh man, I missed the boat. But like I bought my house in Maple Grove too early. If I had waited 4 months, it would have been, and I didn't need to move. So I thought I was timing it at a good time and the market kept going down. I could have done better. And that is not affected.
Okay, so it's a bad comparison because there's market fluctuations there that can affect all of this, whereas the seats cost what the seats cost. So you went and got the $1,500 watch. The other guy went the same day, got the watch for $1,000. You wouldn't be annoyed by that.
Same store?
Same store, same everything.
Yeah, I would be annoyed.
Exactly. That's the more apt metaphor.
But like someone else getting a watch there's nothing better about that, right? Like there's nothing better. It is better to have like more people sitting close to the field on TV to have it look like there are people at the game. It's all better. I would rather have people fill it in and let's have some fun. Dan makes a valid point. I'll give him that. Frankly, I don't care for it. I never.
You don't care for me making a good point?
Not really. Not when it's making my point seem less valid. Colin is in St. Paul. Colleen.
I'm sorry, Clean.
Colleen, sorry about that. Thanks for listening and calling in. What do you want to say, Colleen?
I want to say that I want to do a comparison about your ticket, kids coming and taking seats.
Right.
I was a Minneapolis public school teacher, and I took kids to New York every year. But we would, get $15 tickets. And at halftime, if seats were available, the ushers would take us into
Yes,
those great.
that's what I miss. The good old days when you could move on
Yes.
down. We're just having fun.
Exactly.
Get over it just
So-
because you paid for a ticket. Boo hoo. Like, let's let some other people have a good experience, you know?
Anyway, it reminded me of that, and I thought, oh my gosh, yes, I loved that.
See? I loved it too. I used to go, we would go to Cubs games or White Sox games in Chicago. And in Chicago, no one's following the rules. I mean, dead people are voting in Chicago. This is maybe this is the ethos I'm bringing. Like, this is how I was brought up. But
There it is.
you'd sort of sneak down. Like, and to be honest, as a youngster, I was like a young Dan Cook, where I was following the rules and I didn't like it when other people didn't follow the rules. And as I've gotten older, I've realized that it's all, you know, who the rules are for is for the man. The man is just trying to keep us down. Like, let's have some fun. Who cares if other people are breaking the rules and you want to follow them? You're
Well,
getting
I don't
your,
know about that.
it depends what
I mean,
rules. Depends what rules,
Exactly,
Colleen. But I'm just saying, like, in the
Yeah,
context of moving down, let's fill in the seats. Come on.
Well, I would love to do that at a Timberwolves game, but oh my goodness gracious, no.
I know.
You cannot move
No,
down.
those
You're
ushers are
giving up $1,000. Yeah, anyway.
those ushers are
All
on
right.
you for that. Thanks, Colleen. Appreciate it. Pete's in Woodbury. Pete, we started with me saying that I think I'd feel a little ripped off if a game was 2 hours and 15 minutes, but you know, you can talk about whatever you want. Do you think people should be able to move down into open seats?
Yeah. I mean, I used to go when the Metrodome was kind of new in the early 80s.
Yeah.
You could get a GA seat for what, $4?
Right.
Sit right up behind Kirby Puckett, wait 2 innings. And then my girlfriend and I would just hoof it on down and nobody cared because like there were maybe 3,500 people in the whole building.
Right.
And so, you know, there should be a 3-inning thing or whatever. And then who cares?
That's what I think. Like, just because I paid for, you know, like I was there Sunday, the seats we bought with the season ticket discount, like you know, you have the My Twins plan. They were like $48 seats. And I had plenty of empty seats in front of me, but like, I wouldn't have cared if somebody filled in. It doesn't change my seat. I still got my seat. It's fine. I don't know.
I guess it depends. I mean, if you get some hapless drunk in front of you that wrecks your experience.
Wow. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, have the usher kick them out. Show me your ticket, dude. But
Right.
if they're just having a good time and being reasonable, I don't care.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate that. Ugel, who I ran into at the bus stop on the way to work.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Nice to meet you, Ugel. When you buy your ticket, you expect to have people around you, so your status has not changed. It's just more the psychological
you
thing
expect to have people around you, but you expect to have those people around you have paid similar prices
Yeah,
to
but
what
are they
you paid.
paying you? Like, you're not getting the money. What's the
No,
difference?
the difference is I feel ripped off. If somebody else, you know, bought the watch at $1,000 and I paid $1,500, I feel ripped off, and that impacts my enjoyment of the ballgame.
So silly. So silly.
I can't believe you are a rule follower. I know this about you. I mean, on this, you just completely flip 180 on this.
I like to keep you guessing.
I guess.
Jerry's in Savage. Jerry, thanks for listening. What do you think? What do you think about all this, Jerry?
I've been the benefactor of this. My son actually bought the standing room only season tickets for like $4 a seat for the month.
It's such a good deal.
And he bought
Yes.
2 of them. He bought 2 of them because they're so cheap. He's like, well, I could take somebody to the game and they could pay for parking, and I'm good. So, but we went to a Friday night game a couple weeks ago, and our standing room only seats were 7 rows up from third base, right over by the dugout. The section was pretty much full. There was not one person in that section that paid for those tickets. And it was obvious because everybody would come down, look for a couple open seats, look around, guilty. Then they'd sneak in. And every time somebody got up to go get beer or food, they'd get up, they'd go, they'd come back down, forget where they were sitting, and, you know, sit 4 or 5 rows away.
Right.
And We had two guys in the third inning ask if we would watch their coats because it was supposed to get cold because they were going to go get beer.
Right.
Came back. We stayed to the end of the game. They must have forgot what section they snuck into, and they left all their stuff.
That is the risk, right? You're totally going to forget which seats you've swiped from the unsold ticket.
Given attendance levels this year, it may not be the best time for me to die on this particular hill. So,
but no, it was great because everybody in that section was having a blast because we all thought we got away with something.
That's right.
The $2 beers were flowing, and
it feels like found money at that point. Like you're having an experience that you didn't pay for. You probably wouldn't pay for. But it's pretty cool. Like sitting close is awesome. It just is.
Well, the Twins made a lot of money on concessions because everybody figures like, hey, I didn't pay for these tickets. I'm going to go spend $40 on nachos.
Right. That's pretty good. Thanks, Jerry. Appreciate it.
Well, and that feeds into what one of the other texters said, which I think is actually a really good idea. They said, so if people want to be able to move up, which I'm okay with, maybe to get a little skin in the game, they should have to buy popcorn or a beverage for the guys in front of them. Or the people in back of them, at least buy some concessions so they have to pay a little bit towards the Twins.
Like a little toll.
Yeah, just a little something, and then, everybody's cool. I like
and you
that
give
idea.
a little something to the... I just think, like, if you felt good about paying $40 for the seat in section 122, which is where I was, row 13 or 14, then who cares if someone's freeloading in front of you or behind you?
I care. It annoys me.
I mean, the only person losing in this scenario is the Pohlads. Tom Pohlad's losing, right? Like,
no, I'm losing too because I'm getting ripped off.
You're not getting.
I'm totally getting ripped off.
You're just emotionally getting ripped off.
That counts.
I mean, that's a you problem. But
I'm not claiming you're wrong on that.
It is
still a problem.
I'm acknowledging that some of you are so sad that you're going to be disappointed because someone else is having a good experience because you paid a little bit more for it. I mean, they still paid to get into the game.
How do we know? Maybe somebody gave them the tickets and they walked in and are now doing this nonsense.
It's like, fair jumpers on the light rail or something. Maybe
or
they snuck in.
Or those people in the Easy Pass lanes that aren't paying for it.
Now, for some reason, that does upset me. Texter says, I'm on both sides of this argument, and it's tearing me apart. I think it's like politics today. I'm okay if it benefits me. I think that's, you know what, Texter? Honestly.
That's it. That's it on the nose right there.
That kind of honesty, we need more of it. Twins win. We're going to update you. CBS News coming our way at the top of the hour. My buddy Laura Oaks standing by to let us know everything that happened while we were listening to that Twins win. Continental Diamond time is 3:59. Drive time coming back.
Anywhere you are, everywhere it matters. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis, St. Paul. Streaming live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The Trump administration announces criminal charges against former Cuban President Raul Castro. CBS's Cammie McCormick.
Federal prosecutors have charged Castro with the 1996 downing of civilian planes operated by the Miami-based exile group Brothers to the Rescue. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
For nearly 30 years, the families of 4 murdered Americans have waited for justice.
The charges include murder. Raul Castro was defense minister at the time. He is now 94 years old.
Reaction from Florida Republican Congressman Mario Diaz-Balart.
We expect that the day of justice is finally arriving.
2 officers who defended the U.S. Capitol from rioters sue to block payouts from the Justice Department's $1.8 billion anti-weaponization fund. CBS's Jake Rosen.
What the lawsuit seeks to do is claim that these two men are irreparably harmed by the creation of this fund because it rewards directly those people that assaulted them and other Capitol Police officers. These men are going to have to prove that they truly were and are being harmed by the creation and distribution of these funds.
Former Congressman Barney Frank was anything but timid.
Regular order! Regular order!
The longtime Democrat from Massachusetts was a leading liberal who fought for gay rights and financial reform. Frank spoke with 60 Minutes in 2008 about bankruptcies during the financial crisis.
I'm very proud of the fact I think we've shown with the last 2 years, and we will show going forward, that you can be a liberal Democrat and cooperate in creating the kind of climate that's good for business as well as for everybody else.
Barney Frank entered hospice in Maine last month with congestive heart failure and died late yesterday, according to Jim Siegel, his former campaign manager and close friend. He was 86. Some progress in battling a Southern California fire in Simi Valley. It's 15% contained as of this afternoon. Andrew Dowd with the Ventura County Fire Department.
We continue to make some very straightforward priorities. Protect life, protect property, make sure we have resources in place to protect homes and provide structure defense, and look for targets of opportunity to where we can strengthen and reinforce control lines.
Rapper Flavor Flav gets the thumbs up to hold a parade on the Las Vegas Strip on July 16th to celebrate female athletes, including Olympians. Flavor Flav telling Clark County commissioners,
I decided to bring them all here to fabulous Las Vegas. Why? Because there's no better city for me to have these girls celebrate their winnings.
This is CBS News.
I want to know what's going on in the world. I'm Tony. There are big questions that all of us are asking. I want to get you the answers. How are you? I'm Tony DeCopel. Join me on the CBS Evening News.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 60 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Governor Walz with a visit to HCMC today as the state's biggest safety net hospital gets a new lifeline after almost going under.
The governor visited Hennepin County Medical Center to mark the historic state investment, which includes $205 million in immediate stability funding and an additional $500 million reserve account available through 2031 to offset the facility's high volume of uncompensated care.
A lot of Minnesotans now understand the critical nature of this, and it puts it into perspective that when the federal government is unable to get things done or passes things like H.R. 1, the impact becomes very personal for people all across Minnesota.
It's still unknown how the state will address ongoing financial concerns for smaller rural hospitals that do not meet the strict criteria for this specific reserve fund, but still require critical aid. Outside HCMC, I'm Taylor Rivera. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry introducing his pick to become the city's new fire chief following Chief Brian Tyner's retirement. Reginald Freeman holds a doctorate in emergency and protective services. He had previously served as fire chief for Oakland, California.
Minneapolis is a nationally recognized city, and the opportunity to serve as its next fire chief is both professionally meaningful and personally motivating for me.
The owner of a Minneapolis daycare already charged in the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme is facing additional charges. Federal prosecutors allege Fahima Mahmoud submitted false paperwork to Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program, pocketing more than $4 million. They say that's in addition to the $850,000 she fraudulently received in federal child nutrition funds. Mahmoud was the CEO of Future Leaders Early Learning Daycare. For the first time in many months, Minneapolis-based Target announcing some good news today. Same-store sales jumped 5.6% in the first quarter. That is the first positive same-store sales number in 5 quarters. Downtown Minneapolis leaders announcing this summer's lineup of entertainment events and festivals today. Downtown Council CEO Adam Dunning says it includes plenty of fun intended to keep downtown workers in the area a bit longer. Tuesdays through Thursdays, the busiest in-office days.
It's not lost on us that leaving downtown, some of those busy days can be difficult traffic-wise and all that. So if there are activities, whether it's live music, whether it's food trucks, Pilates in the park that the YMCA does with us, maybe those sorts of activities, if timed right, will be something to attract people to hang around and do those activities before they head home.
One of the new events this year capitalizes on the FIFA World Cup soccer tournament in June, where fans will be able to catch the action on an outdoor jumbo screen at PV Plaza. You can find a complete list of downtown's events, concerts, and festivals on our website, WCCOradio.com. And WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And for westbound and Mounds Boulevard, crash off to the right side, just cleared as we came to air here. In the meantime, still some slowing through that immediate area. 35E slows both directions, basically between Wheelock Parkway and Highway 62. 35W seeing slowdowns both directions as midway between Hennepin Avenue and I-94. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And with that, here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A nice night tonight with a partly cloudy sky down to 45 degrees. Mix of sun and clouds tomorrow with a high around 66. That's still below average. Mid-60s on Friday. Our one chance of rain comes late Friday into Saturday. By Memorial Day, we'll warm to the 80s.
Mostly sunny right now, 60 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
If staying informed feels like a full-time job, you're doing it wrong. Hey, clock out and tune in. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Twins win. Has me in a good mood. Hopefully has you in a good mood as well. What are you laughing about, Cook? What's so funny about that? What I do?
Because you gave me a look like you're assuming I'm in a bad mood. Because I'm still mad about the people that don't follow the rules.
Well, we had a good conversation.
It was great. Thank you to Dennis for bringing it up, essentially.
That was very good. Yes. Look, sometimes on this show, we might bring something up that you never got to weigh in on, and you want to. You desperately want to. And if you would like to call up in the middle of some other segment and just turn it in whatever direction you want to turn it in, fine. It's fine. It's like if you're hanging out with me in the real world and we have a conversation and I start, like, to use a map as an analogy, I start driving from Minneapolis towards a Brooklyn center. And then all of a sudden, I end up in Hudson. This is where conversations with me sometimes go. Was that confusing for you?
A little
You
bit.
looked very
I just was like,
I
why
was
are we
just being
selecting
a little
these
more
particular
colorful.
cities? And
heading north, and then all of a sudden you're going.
I mean, you could have
to
just
the
said
east.
heading north, and then but you were
I
very
like-
specific about Brooklyn
This is a
Center.
local radio show. I like to make local reference. Minnesota has decided to ban those prediction markets, and I, for one, am very grateful. I am very grateful. I think the expansion of gambling into being able to bet on everything is nothing but bad for our society, bad for our state. And Minnesota is 1,000% right to get in front of it and say no. 651-461-9226. Are you bummed that you can't make a prediction bet on whatever? Do you think this kind of ban is going to work? This is the negative. The negative is laws can never catch up with technology. Just can't. Our laws are created for an analog era. And prediction markets are very much kind of the cutting edge today. It could be international. It could be Bitcoin. It could be American dollars. It could, you just don't know. And our laws, especially state by state, are, that it's a bit of a joke. That's sad. Can anyone really defend what is good about being able to make a prediction bet on everything and anything? We've seen a Democratic candidate for U.S. Congress who I'm a fan of, State Senator Matt Klein. And for fun, he put a bet on his own campaign, and now he's going to have to answer for that until the day his candidacy is over. What good has come from any of this? We're obsessed with betting on everything. And I keep wondering, is there a time that I'm going to change my view on this? Because I feel like I am one of the few who isn't into it. I don't want to place a bet on a Twins game. I don't want to place a bet on how many three-pointers Ant is going to hit. I don't want to place a bet on how many shots Rudy's going to block. I don't want to place a bet on who the Minnesota Vikings starting quarterback is going to be by week 8. I just don't want to. Now, is it fun to recreationally, have a Super Bowl wager or bet on some of the kind of how long is the, national anthem going to be, over or under? I guess. But if we got rid of that, I think it'd probably be a positive. What good has come from all of this obsession about betting on everything? In these prediction markets, it's the Wild West out there. The state of Minnesota, even though I am personally opposed to the expansion of sports gambling, I do think we're at a point that Minnesota would be far better off to legalize sports gambling and regulate it instead of the absolute craziness that's going on in Kalshi and these prediction markets. 651-461-9226. And a texter is sort of with me. If they're going to ban prediction bets, then they should at least legalize sports betting. I'll acknowledge that there's a certain bit of puritanicalness in me where I know I have a personality that could be a little bit addictive. And if I started getting into betting, especially on a cell phone where it's so easy and it feels like fake money, I think it would be very easy for me to get too into betting. And so I sort of self-regulate by not participating.
I'm sort of the same way in that personality trait. And it's where I turned. I used to be very libertarian about, and I still am to a degree, right?
Yeah.
You ask the question, what good comes from this? I think the more appropriate question, in terms of making something illegal is how much harm is it doing?
I agree with you.
To society as a whole, right?
Yeah.
For the government to step in and restrict something, there needs to be some sort of act of harm going on. But I think where I sort of flipped on this a little bit is when we started putting it on cell phones, when we turned it into the same amount of effort and thought that I put into playing solitaire in the morning.
Right.
That's where people get into all kinds of trouble very, very quickly, very, very easily. And there needs to be at least some sort of obstacle, some sort of, way to slow that down a little bit and not make it super easy to flush a bunch of money down the toilet. Because if you want to have fun betting on a game, that's your business. I don't want to restrict that from you. What I don't want is a 20-year-old kid with mom and dad's credit card running up $20,000 in debt. And I think it's way too easy to do something like that, the way that it's set up right now.
The federal government is trying to stop Minnesota's effort. Is anybody surprised by that, considering how active the Trump family appears to be in these sorts of prediction markets? Which, by the way, what are we doing as a country? We don't even care if the presidential administration is corrupt and is self-funding and self-benefiting. Remember all the noise about about Joe Biden's sons and the Biden crime syndicate. But if it's your guys, it's like, no, this is great.
What are we doing? What's going on?
Textures, you guys are clouded. I can buy lotto tickets and place horse bets on my phone all day long. Should you be able to? I mean, you know, if people want to buy a lottery ticket, we've sort of decided that this is essentially people opting into taxing themselves. That this is like a contribution to the environment fund or the clean air fund. And I guess if people want to make a tax payment, because that's how I see what the lottery is. And it's fun. And the same is true of sports gambling and all these gambling. But I'm just saying, like, is there a difference between allowing a little bit of gambling to be legal in our state and letting you bet on everything and anything in an unregulated, crazy, Wild West environment? I think there is. I do think for Minnesota to do this right, you have to legalize sports gambling. You have to set up a regulated environment and then let it go. Lots of texts coming in. We got Jeff in Sauk Rapids on the line. Jeff, I'm glad that, and this was a bipartisan agreement to say, no, we don't need these prediction markets in this state. Where are you on this?
I agree. The prediction markets are way too goofy, a lot of room for fraud. However, out of the other side of my mouth, I support sports gambling. But keep it simple. If I want to put $100,000 on the Gophers over the Badgers, I can do that. No point spread, no bets on how many successful passes the quarterbacks throw. Win, lose, Gophers, Badgers, here's my $100,000. It's very much the same as horse racing. If you go to a track, you go down to the booth, you buy a ticket for a particular horse, here's your $2. So what?
Yeah.
Simple.
I'm with.
As long as it stays at that level, I think it's very manageable.
That's all right. Yep. Thanks, Jeff. I totally agree. And Frank on YouTube says it's different playing a game of poker versus manipulating oil markets. And I think that is my concern about these unregulated kind of prediction markets. Keep your calls and texts coming, 651. Maybe you can convince me. 651-461-9226. Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chris Lindell wants to take some of your stress away. It's Jason here for Chris Lindell Real Estate and chrislindell.com. Summer is here, and typically when the summertime comes, it is more of the active time of the year when it comes to the real estate market. But I just read yesterday that housing prices all over Minnesota are down. They're down. This market is unpredictable. And more Minnesotans are saying, to heck with it. I don't want to deal with the stress. I don't want to overpay realtor commission. I don't want to deal with any of it. chrislindell.com has an option for you. It's the guaranteed cash offer. And there is a reason that Chris Lindell is giving away more and more and more big red checks. That big red check is what happens when you offload the stress, offload the headaches, offload the pressure, offload the uncertainty. And Chris Lindell takes care of it, providing a smooth, easy, fast cash situation for you. Just makes sense. Go to the website, chrislindell.com. Get a free smart seller guide. See if it makes sense for you. And maybe you'll be saying yes to that guaranteed cash offer and a big red check.
Pool days call for cookouts and lots of laundry. This Memorial Day at Lowe's, save $80 on a Charbroil Performance Series 4-burner gas grill, now just $199. Plus, get up to 45% off select major appliances to keep dishes, clothes, and food fresh. Having fun in the sun is easy with us in your corner. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/27. While supplies last. Selection varies by location. See associate or Lowe's.com for details.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance. And now we're customizing this rush hour ad to keep you calm, which could help your driving. And science says therapy is great for a healthy mindset. So enjoy this 14-second session on us. I think you've done everything right and absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, anything that hasn't gone your way could probably be blamed on your father not being emotionally available because his father wasn't emotionally available, and so on. And now that you're calm and healing, you're probably driving better too.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Would a boy like you, like a girl?
We're talking about the ban on prediction markets. Minnesota lawmakers are saying, look, we have a bunch of laws and regulations about betting in this state, and we can't just allow this is fine. No regulation, no rules, nothing. I have not been a big supporter of legalizing sports gambling in Minnesota, but we are at the point where all of the surrounding states are doing it. I think the prediction markets bring to light the fact that it is important to do this in a way that has some regulation to it. Now, a texter said, look, you're just, Comrade Jason, nice work by you on the prediction markets for the DFL you worship. The biggest contributors to the DFL are the native tribes, which is not true. But they are a big contributor. And the tribes do want full control of sports betting in Minnesota. So the DFL will fight prediction markets from competing with the tribes. So I would say that, first of all, this was a bipartisan bill. It was passed out of both houses. It was one of the few bipartisan bills that got through. And personally, I don't think that the Native American tribes should necessarily have exclusivity for every kind of gambling in the history and the future of the world. So I know that's sort of a non-starter politically for the reasons the texter said, but I don't think that it needs to be that way going forward. Chris in St. Paul texted in and said we're clouded and then gave us a call, and I always appreciate that. Thanks for listening, Chris. Go ahead and give me your viewpoint, your perspective here.
Well, Jason, it's anyone who's been to like Chicago or Iowa. You download the certain app for the gambling site in that state, and it's on your phone. It's on your phone all day long. So my clouded comment was more about should it be available on your phone? I mean, I'm buying lottery tickets on my phone. I'm gambling on my phone. I'm trading on my phone. I mean, it's all there all day long. My 401k is on my phone.
Yeah, I mean, you make an interesting point. Like, is this type of gambling substantively different than being like a day trader on the stock market?
It's really not. And you know what? Part of what people do is they sit there and they do monitor the amount of trades that are being made on a certain event. And you can, make a educated decision. I give you this. I hope your parents' credit card isn't in there when you load it up. But so like the Prize Picks app, it's different than a prediction market, but they're allowing legalized betting here in Minnesota. I just played a bet on the Twins game on a Prize Picks account, and I load it from my major bank here in Minnesota right to their site. They pay it back to my major bank right here in Minnesota. All of these FDIC insured banks are part of this. Apple and Venmo are allowing transactions in between all of these accounts.
Of course, there's so much money for all those guys, right? It's all transaction. Everybody's making money on this for sure.
So how do you stop these people, and the tribe? Yeah, the tribe's got their right to their sovereignty and their opinions, but they could have legalized this a long time ago and we'd be past this and wouldn't even be talking about it.
Wow. So, I think you hit the nail on the head with that point. If that is a lesson here, Chris, in a fast-moving economy, the sort of slow roll that our Minnesota legislature and our Minnesota politicians have on everything ends up with us getting passed behind. And now you are sort of screwed right now in that trying to regulate this and trying to allow it. Well, we allowed an unregulated market to come in and be take hold. And now what? Now we're trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube.
I'm just telling you, it's the way of the world. And you know what? If there weren't the prediction markets and there weren't the other apps that are allowing this, there's the guy at the bar down the street.
Well, it used to be harder, but it was
your arms and your legs if you don't pay.
That was the good. That was the good old days, Chris. That was better. You had to make a little effort.
Still exists, Jason, because a lot of people don't have credit cards to go and pay in advance for their gambling.
That's true.
See, a lot of people. Here's the clouded part. A lot of people think gambling is, hey, I just, I bet. No, in these apps, you have to pay first.
Right.
With Louis down at the bar, you pay later, and if you don't pay, hello.
You pay. You pay.
Right.
Thanks, Chris.
So
appreciate you. Thanks for the call. Chris very accurately lays out how challenging this situation is now. And I really do think it is that part of the takeaway here is that this state likes to be last. We like to be last. We think, let's see how this plays out. And in a fast-moving digital economy, being last isn't necessarily as beneficial as it was 10 or 15 years ago. Because then it's too late. People already have their workarounds, they have their habits, and now you have no regulation, nothing. And the state gets nothing. When did we first start talking about sports gambling and legalizing that in this state? And there was hope that the state would achieve some money out of the deal. Sort of like with cannabis, right? Like, we're going to be the last to show up with cannabis. But at a certain point, it's like, is the state going to make that much money? I don't know. I'm skeptical. And same with sports gambling. It would have been better if we were in 5 years ago. Now you're trying to outlaw something that everybody has their workaround for. They all have their Kalshi or Prize Picks or whatever. So many gamblers. I don't know. I am too unwilling to lose. I think I have no sort of patience for that. No patience. Texters, I'd rather bet on campaigns than sports every day. Yeah, I get that. Another texter says they could kill off this industry by making any debt incurred not collectible in the courts nor reportable to collection agencies. Well, yeah, that's probably true. You should have to be at the game to be able to bet on it, says another texter. That's interesting. I mean, none of that is going to happen. Legalize simple sports gambling and use the money generated from it to sustain money for our hospital. This is sort of how we justify going all in on sin. That's what we've been doing.
The sin tax, yeah.
But it's like, well, if you put it to something good, it's fine.
It's okay to tax the bejabbers out of the smokers because that money's going someplace good.
I tend to think that the reality is we need to acknowledge reality. And this is happening. You can either regulate it and legalize it or just allow the Wild West to go on. I'd rather regulate it. And part of that, to me, if step one is banning these prediction markets, step two should be legalizing sports gambling. 429, we're going to break in a minute. I was absolutely floored by some new data on which parts of our community are growing the fastest. Over the last 5 years, the top 5 cities in census growth, when you look at percentage growth, they're all in the South Metro. I feel like we under-discuss, we ignore the South Metro, and maybe to our peril, because Lakeville now has about 80,000 residents. We're going to talk to the mayor of Lakeville as to what is going on in the South Metro when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
8 weeks free at Livia Weight Control Centers. It is Jason. So excited to let you know about this great opportunity. It's not going to be around forever, But 8 weeks free, maybe that is the little nudge that you need to let you jump into summer feeling great. We know that summer's coming. And summer is about active, right? Concerts, weekends on the lake. The calendar fills up, doesn't it? Don't you want to feel full of energy? Feel like yourself? Livia can help you get there. I lost 45 pounds with the help of Livia. I visited with my Livia Weight Control Center just today with a telehealth visit. You can do it in person. I'd love for you to go visit Apple Valley because, oh my goodness, what a team in Apple Valley, thanks to Everett, the center director there. They're just absolutely killing it, changing lives left and right. You want to get in if you live in the South Metro in the Apple Valley area. But Livia has locations all over town, and that personalized one-on-one support can help you to be healthier, to have more energy, to really be able to enjoy life. That's what has happened for me. They've got the nutrition program that I love. They've got the medical GLP-1 weight loss options that are changing lives like you wouldn't believe. So let's go. Join Livia today. 8 weeks free. You could drop up to 10 pounds before summer. Livia.com. Livea.com or call 855-GO-LIVIA.
Next item, proposed guidelines for state-approved hot dish serving utensils.
Spatula only. A spoon compromises the structural integrity of the tater tot layer.
This is Minnesota. We scoop with whatever's clean.
That kind of thinking leads to forks.
Forks are people too.
Not at my potluck, they aren't.
Could we maybe just put it on a plate and eat?
Most of us are caught somewhere in the middle. Reasonable, craving actual action. Just trying to get through the day without turning every little thing into a fight.
I want this spoon investigated by independent counsel.
For smart conversation, for common sense, and less picking sides on things that just don't matter. It's News Talk 830 WCCO.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready or not, summer is coming, and Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance is on now. Right now through May 25th, get up to 70% off everything home at Wayfair. Plus, score amazing doorbuster deals all sale long and surprise flash deals on Memorial Day. We're talking thousands of products at every style and budget. Now is the time to save big on must-haves for your patio, backyard, and beyond. These savings won't last, so don't wait. Shop Wayfair's Memorial Day clearance now through May 25th.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slow down the place. Highway 100, both directions between Duluth Street and Highway 62. North 169 slows as you come up from Valley View all the way up to Medicine Lake Road. 610 flowing slowly as make way either direction between Highway 169 and 252. 35 E's jammed up both directions between Roselawn and Highway 62. Terry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast time. Let's hope we're going to warm up. My goodness. Here comes Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Partly cloudy the next couple of days. 45 will be the overnight low tonight. 66 the high tomorrow. Most of the day on Friday is dry. We have some rain showers coming in late after a high of 65. Rain will linger into Saturday and then eventually move out. Upper 70s by Sunday. Mid 80s likely on Memorial Day.
Right now, if you're hanging out watching high school baseball, Lakeville North versus Lakeville South over at Target Field, it's sunny and 61 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's known for the slow burn. He wanted to keep it organic, and I'm still begging for it. More controversy.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I feel like the media over-focuses on the West Metro. Maybe the North Metro gets the second amount of love. But the South and East Metro, I've always thought, get ignored. And some of this is just the nature of like people talk about where they live and their experience. But the danger of that is you can miss important trends. And one of those trends that popped up this week is an explosion of growth in the South Metro. And if you've been following some of the political discussions in our suburbs, you know the South Metro is feeling it. Communities like Lakeville, which has actually put a moratorium on new housing construction. And, you know, these are just issues they're looking at. They're like, our schools are blowing up. And I think if you don't live in the South Metro, you're like, what is going on there? Top 5 cities, when you look at growth, starting in April of 2020 and going to July of 2025 from the Census Bureau. Rosemount, they are up 24%. Lakeville, 14%. Shakopee, 13%. Cottage Grove, 12%. Chaska, 10%. The growth is south. And Luke Hellier is the mayor of Lakeville. He's with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline, where he certainly is not surprised by this data because, Mayor, you're experiencing this every day down there, aren't you?
Yeah, we definitely are, Jason. We definitely feel it. You know, we had more people move to Lakeville from 2020 to 2025 than the entire cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul combined. And
the raw number is staggering. It's almost 10,000 new residents over the last 5 years.
Yeah, and we're feeling it. I mean, there's pressure on our schools for sure. There's pressures on our infrastructure, but you know, we're managing, and the builders have kept up with the demand.
What's going on? Why are so many people locating over the last 5 years in these South Metro, Lakeville, Rosemount, Shakopee, Cottage Grove? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, I think a little bit the secret got out that it was a great place to raise a family. The schools are very strong. We got a lot of natural resources. And I think they figured out that 35W is easy to get to work when you probably can only have to commute a couple days a week.
Right.
So we're a beneficiary of the post-pandemic economy where people are saying, you know what, I don't mind sitting in traffic 2 days a week or 3 days a week if I can move out to the south suburbs and have a lot of these amenities versus living closer into the city to have a shorter commute.
When you look at Lakeville, the location is great. Like, it's very easy to get to. But when you look at being a city of 70,000 residents and now a city of 80,000 residents, that you mentioned the growing pains, that is a real concern. That's a massive difference, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, we had to pass a $140 million bond referendum last week to expand our 3 middle schools because 2 of the 3 were at 105% of capacity. And, you know, I'll just say this. I mean, I'm much rather have the pain of growth than the pain of decline, for sure.
My God,
and,
yes, no doubt.
You know, so, but, you know, and it works through it. And, you know, the nice thing about Lakeville is even though we're 80,000, we have a historic downtown, I like to call it. So we're able to keep a lot of that small town community feel, even though we have grown the way we have.
You do have a great downtown, and I think that's part of why people are attracted. I think you also have an interesting distinction location-wise of essentially, I think of Lakeville as like the southernmost suburb. Because once we get past you, then you're like Elko, New Market, or Northfield. Like, you're pretty much Faribault before you get to the next big city. So even if you're like a Mayo Clinic person working in Rochester, Lakeville has some appeal in location wise. Plus, you had some land, right, that allowed people to be able to build houses.
Sure. I mean, we're 38 square miles, so we're one of the bigger cities by geography in the metro. And we still have about a third of our land left to develop. And a lot of it depends on, you know, if farmers are going to pass down the farm to the next generation or if they're going to exit and sell out. So that a lot depends on some of those personal decisions, but we have plenty of space left to go. I like to joke when people ask me where I'm mayor, I said, we're the last 8 miles of civilization before you get to Iowa. And that's exactly, you know, as you describe it.
Luke Hellier is with us, the mayor of Lakeville. Now, obviously, you mentioned the growing pains. There are sort of the obvious things, right? That do you have enough school? Do you have enough infrastructure? Do you have enough, restaurants and retail and businesses and all of that kind of stuff? But the other side is the tension that always comes in Minnesota with growth, where you say, are we losing the character of what made us attractive in the first place? Are we turning too many cornfields into subdivisions? How do you balance that?
Yeah, and I 100% you're right, and it's a lot of feedback we get. And as a local leader, I really work with our businesses and residents to really lean in to some of the stuff that has made us great. We have an awesome park system. We just invested a ton of money into Lake Marion's Park, Antlers Park, and Lakeville Brewing has a kind of a satellite location there now. And so we really lean into the amenities. And then our Panaprog, which is our town festival that is, 4 or 5 days long in July, where everybody kind of comes together, and that allows everybody to see each other and do a lot of fun activities. And you keep that charm of why we got to where we are, even though we've got 80,000 people.
The other angle here is that you guys did just pass this temporary housing moratorium. And at a time when you look at, we need more housing, we need more affordable housing, and Lakeville does have the ability to provide some housing that is maybe more affordable for a first-time home buyer, where you can get a little bit of land or you can build some townhouses. How do you weigh? You mentioned, like, okay, on the one hand, you're listening to people who are like, don't turn all our cornfields into houses. On the other hand, like, you got somebody like me who's saying, Luke, we need growth in our region and we need housing. And for you guys to shut it down when you have land available is a negative overall when you're trying to get more housing out there.
Yeah. The moratorium really is a 1-year pause to kind of give us some breathing room to kind of relook at some of our zoning and land use. Part of that is, just a quick example, Cedar Avenue was going to be a bus rapid transit line. And so we zoned expecting that line to be there. Well, that's not going to happen now. So we have to rethink about that corridor, how much density, how can we create an opportunity for having some multifamily with maybe commercial and retail. So we're going to look at that corridor, for instance, and then more broadly about how we can keep our property tax base as diverse as possible, which is why people want to come here. We have a huge industrial park, but there's this big push to convert commercial land into residential, which in an Egan is great, right? They need redevelopment. It makes a lot of sense. But for a city like ours, where we want to try to maintain what we have on a commercial tax base to keep our taxes low, we've got to look at exactly which parcels still make sense for that. We've got 1,300 lots right now that are permitted or could be permitted and ready to go that aren't impacted by the moratorium. So at the end of the day, you're probably not going to see a ton of real slowdown. We're at more permits this year than we were at the same time last year. It's just a matter of not doing any kind of raw land that hasn't had a first look this year.
Do you see a time where Lakeville is a community of 100,000 residents?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think, the big difference between us and like a Bloomington that has that many is they've got the airport and mall. We don't necessarily have like a big signature thing that would draw that many people, but I could be wrong. I mean, we've got the land for it. We've got the natural resources that draw people. So maybe. I mean, I think the Met Council a few years ago thought we would not exceed 85,000, and now that we're at 80. So I don't think 90 is out of the reach.
Do you need something? Should there be an amphitheater or some kind of major attraction? As I said at the beginning of the segment, I think the South Metro gets sort of ignored, and maybe part of it is because it's housing. It's great housing, great neighborhoods, but there aren't a ton of Burnsville has their performing arts center, but there's not a ton of stuff exactly.
Yeah, we've got a few smaller assets. We've got the art center that the city owns downtown where we can do small performances. We have an outdoor amphitheater, but stay tuned. Later this summer, we might have some news to announce about that.
I mean, you've got your gas station speakeasy that has got. Yeah. I feel like I went to that and did a video forever ago, and now all of a sudden it's on ABC News is down there doing stories. The Wall Street Journal. It's pretty cool.
It is, and I think you were the catalyst to kick that all off because then not that much longer Wall Street Journal was there. So
I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, what a leader I am. Thank you for pointing it out.
But, downtown has been a big deal for us. When I was in high school, it was struggling. It was like a lot of downtowns and small towns were, right? The grocery store closed, the furniture store closed, the drugstore closed. But Lakeville Brewing opened in 2016 by buying the VFW. And that really flipped it on its head. We've had a bunch of restaurant investment since then and has really been kind of a domino effect, which has led to the Farmer's Grandson opening and the Speakeasy. And there will be more of that. I think there's this intent to, quote unquote, expand downtown because of that. And so I think you'll see a lot more in the coming years.
It's pretty cool. I'm in a way, there are many cities that are jealous of you. But as you mentioned, there are the positives and the negatives, but it is a reminder of sort of the great stuff that's going on in the South Metro. Obviously, raw numbers matter. We talk percentage because that tells a story. But Lakeville added 9,773 residents. Woodbury added about 6,400. Blaine about 6,400. Rosemount about 62. Shock. I mean, this is a lot of growth. There's a lot of growth. And it's a little bit of the shift as you see, like, Maple Grove added 3,600 people, but Maple Grove is getting close to built out. So you start to have, you say, where can people live? And you guys are really taking on a leadership role there for sure.
Yeah, we're trying. I mean, as you said, I think you get to the point where when you're built out, there's certainly a slowdown. We've got a ton of land left to go. And, it really depends on where some of the landowners want to do. And if we continue to see this, not passing on the generation, so to speak, of farmland, that it'll probably speed up a lot quicker than we expect.
One more question, Luke, because a texter says there are rumors that to sustain the growth in Lakeville, there is talk about annexing neighborhood communities or townships. Is that something that is under consideration?
Yeah, we actually at our next council meeting, we'll be working through an annexation of 600 acres, but that's specifically for the industrial park. We have one of the fastest growing industrial parks. In fact, Domino's for their entire state of Minnesota, their distribution will come out of Lakeville now. We just approved that on Monday night, for instance. But there are some landowners who are in the Lakeville School District, but not Lakeville City, that would like to build in Lakeville, which would require some legal maneuvering through the courts to happen. So that has been discussed, but today there's nothing kind of report on that.
All right. Luke Hellier, really appreciate the time. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you.
Mayor Lakeville, talking about the huge growth that's going on. I just think it's very interesting, the South Metro. The question is, as we talked about, like what becomes the thing? When you have 80,000, 90,000 residents in a community, you do start to have more demand for some of those destination type things. Pretty cool. Drive Time is going to return in just a minute because Mike Lindell's got his hand out. Candidate for governor here in Minnesota who wants millions of dollars for the Donald Trump slush fund. We'll talk about the outrage that is when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at LutherKiaofBloomington.com.
When is the last time that you got your skin checked out? It's Jason here for Tureen Dermatology. TureenDermatology.com is the website. We were talking about growth. And Dr. Mohiba Tureen has been my dermatologist for years. When she first set up shop here in the Twin Cities, she had one office, one little location in Roseville. Today, there are more than 10 and more coming online over the next couple of months. I'll tell you that. And I was talking to her about this the other day, and she said, Jason, we're not growing just because, I want to get bigger or bigger. That's not it. They're growing because there are more opportunities to get great skincare, great dermatologists closer to where people live. Communities like Lakeville, where they set up shop, and Tureen Dermatology, before they showed up, if you wanted to see a dermatologist in Lakeville, you would wait 3, 4, 5 months. Today, you wait 3 weeks. and get an appointment at Tureen Dermatology. That's true at all of their locations. So don't wait. Don't have that mystery bump or mark or mole on your skin. Get it checked out. Tureen, Tareen, dermatology.com.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Free shipping this month at minileaf.com, the home of Minnesota's best legal products. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com, and tell them Jordana sent you.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
A single contractor and construction company for all your home improvement needs in lindusconstruction.com. 36 slows both directions between Highway 61 and 35W. 694 is jammed up both directions as well between Highway 252 and Rice Street. If you're going to be on the west side of the Metro, North 100. Pretty much a slow ride. You come up from Highway 62 all the way up to I-94. Ride your home with energy-efficient Infinity from Marvin Windows. Built for lasting beauty, durability, and comfort. Go to lindusconstruction.com. Trey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
It is barbecue season in Minnesota. That means Minnesota pork. Pig farmers in our state care so much about the environment, their animals, and their communities. Get the best protein around for the best farmers around. Minnesota pork. Oh, yeah.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by Minnesota Pork Board. Taste what pork can do. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 45. Tomorrow, we get up to 66. Friday, 65. The average high is 71, so we're not that much cooler. We sure are cooler. Chance of rain late on Friday night and early on Saturday. Memorial Day looks like 84. So we just can't pick a lane with our weather right now, can we? It is sunny and 61 in St. Paul on CC.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive time with Garusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tell me why ain't nothing but a party. Tell me why ain't.
I cannot believe that taxpayers are going to potentially make Mike Lindell whole for his nonsense election denial. Lindell telling CNN that he believes his company lost $400 million in the aftermath of the 2020 election, which is because he's an idiot. And he decided that instead of running a very successful company, that he would spend his personal money and his personal media savviness and ability to come in front of cameras, and he was going to waste that on pushing this election was rigged conspiracy theory. And Mike Lindell has no one to blame but himself. And the same is true for every person who was prosecuted and convicted of storming the United States Capitol. And to think that the President of the United States authorized a $1.8 billion fund, $1.8 billion to give to his political allies. Just outrageous. Outrageous. And is there well, here's the other side. I'd love to hear it because I don't see it. And I've been looking. What's the defense for this slush fund? Now, just within the last couple of minutes, there's been reporting that Senate Republicans are looking at different ways to use the reconciliation budget bill. And this reporting coming from Punchbowl News, covering the Senate, that they're looking at ways to impose eligibility restrictions on this. But like, what is this country? What are we? We have allowed, and I guess this is predictable, right? But the President of the United States, who has nothing to lose because he's not running again, has not only he sued the government, so the president's suing the IRS, and then in the settlement of the lawsuit, Trump v. Trump put in the ability that he can never be investigated or prosecuted for tax fraud. So get out of jail card forever for tax fraud for him and his family. Remember the Biden crime syndicate? Remember all of that talk?
What are we doing? What's going on?
Hold my beer. Or hold my Diet Coke, says Donald Trump. I just, the fact that Mike freaking Lindell might be able to get $400 million just makes me want to puke. How do you guys defend this? How do you defend it? You can't. You cannot defend it. Texter, you're just upset because the graft is so out in the open. Politicians have been enriching themselves for decades, if not for centuries. Remember, drain the swamp. He is the swamp. And you people just suck it up. You love it. Oh, well, at least he's an out in the open fraud. Are you serious? Listen to yourself. The brazenness is unbelievable. And why wouldn't you be brazen when your supporters are like, it's fine? Continental Diamond time is 4:58.
Looking for a great real estate agent? Someone who can help you sell your home fast and for top dollar? Go to ready.com, REDY.com. Because on Ready, agents will pay you just for the opportunity to sell your home. Yeah, on Ready, agents will pay you for your listing. Thousands of dollars up front just for a chance to sell your home. And it's easy. Just go to ready.com, enter your address, and when you want to sell. In just 48 hours, the best local agents are competing on Ready to be your agent with cash offers up front just to win your business. Hey, your listing is valuable. Don't give it away. Make those agents earn it. Get paid to pick your real estate agent. Go to ready.com or call 888-525-REDY. 888-525-READY.
It's Staples' 40th anniversary, and they've got deals worth celebrating. Now through May 23rd, enjoy up to 50% off. Save on paper, chairs, custom print, balloons, and more. 4 decades in business deserve some seriously smart savings. Staples, that was easy.
The first word on what Minnesota's talking about. News Talk 830 WCCO, KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. The U.S. indicts former Cuban leader Raul Castro and other top officials in the deadly 1996 downing of humanitarian planes. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche.
Nations and their leaders cannot be permitted to target Americans, kill them, and not face accountability.
The planes that were shot down were being operated by Brothers to the Rescue, founded by emigre Jose Basulto. He's asked by CBS's Christian Benavides.
How long have you been waiting for this moment?
About 30 years. It's something that it's justice at the end of the tunnel.
President Trump says he's ready to renew military strikes against Iran if that country's leaders don't reach a peace deal soon.
The president says it could happen anytime.
Right on the borderline, believe me. If we don't get the right answers, it goes very quickly. We're all ready to go.
Speaking to reporters at Joint Base Andrews, Trump also said he could wait a little while.
If I can save war by waiting a couple of days, or I can save people being killed by waiting a couple of days, I think it's a great thing to do.
The president spoke as the U.S. military boarded an Iranian-flagged commercial oil tanker that was suspected of trying to violate the American blockade of the Strait of Hormuz. Lindy Kenyon, CBS News, Washington.
This Memorial Day weekend, Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says there will be a slight relief in gas prices.
The national average at about $4.55 a gallon across the U.S. That is up about $0.015 from last week. But there may be some good news as we get into the holiday weekend. Oil prices are dropping today significantly, and that could lead the national average to see at least a modest decline.
The fire in California's Simi Valley area has grown to nearly 17,000 acres, but is now 15% contained, an improvement. This woman lives in the area.
The flames were raging. It was really scary. It looked like, the fires of hell, actually.
That's Israeli Cabinet Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, who has sparked international outcry over the taunting of detained activists from a Gaza flotilla that Israel intercepted. BBC's Amir Nader.
Foreign Minister Gideon Saar this evening, in which he was talking to a group of American lobbyists, and he said, "This is not a one-day operation. We will continue the campaign in the coming days."
Our copy editor is Kathleen Biggins. On the assignment desk is Gloria Chapa, and our desk associate is Jasmine Gonzalez. SpaceX reveals plans to sell shares to the public in what could be the biggest ever IPO. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here? How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60.
Minnesota's trusted voice every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly sunny, 60 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz visiting Hennepin County Medical Center today to celebrate the newly passed bipartisan legislative package that saved the Safety Net Hospital. The more than $700 million in state funding covers current operating deficits and sets money aside in a reserve account. Walz says while the money may help keep the hospital afloat, a long-term solution is needed.
We know that it's a first step. We know that this did not fix it in its entirety. We know there are more things that need to be done. If we could get some stability, and I will just say it, some sanity out of the federal government around healthcare, that would go a long ways to helping us.
More federal charges for the owner of a Minneapolis daycare already charged in the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme. Prosecutors allege Fahima Mahamud stole more than $4 million by submitting false paperwork to Minnesota's Child Care Assistance Program, in addition to the $850,000 she fraudulently allegedly received in federal child nutrition funds. Mahamud was the CEO of Future Leaders Early Learning Daycare in South Minneapolis. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry announcing his choice for the city's next fire chief today.
What truly sets Reggie Freeman apart is his commitment to people.
Reggie Freeman applied for the chief's position 5 years ago, but didn't get the job. Now Mayor Fry says he's hopeful that he will eventually be confirmed. Freeman says his priority will be building relationships within the community.
And being out in the community at events and the neighborhoods where our fire stations are located. That is critically important, that the residents, they don't see the fire chief or their firefighters for the first time during an emergency.
There will be a public hearing on the nomination in July, with the council voting to either deny or confirm his position. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
It has been a while since we've heard some good financial news out of Minneapolis-based Target.
The retail giant posting its best sales growth in 4 years. Target has been struggling to revive its business, and this shows that it's making progress. The company has been freshening up its merchandise and stores and also integrating more technology into its operations. Later this year, Target will roll out its biggest revamp in food and beverage and up new items by 50%. And this fall, the Target Beauty Studio section will launch in more than 600 stores.
That's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe. Downtown Minneapolis leaders will be experimenting with shutting down a block of Nicollet Mall to bus traffic one Wednesday a month this summer. The plan is to fill the street with food trucks, entertainment, and other activities designed to keep downtown workers around a bit longer. Downtown Council CEO Adam Dunnick says while there's been talk for years about getting buses off the mall entirely, it's all about baby steps right now.
It would be hard to shut the whole street down. It just would be. But if we start to do it in a few blocks and show that it works, then possibly on the next block or two, it's an example of, okay, that worked in this block. What could fit here? And so I think that, the idea is to really be a demonstration.
You can find a complete list of downtown events and happenings on our website, WCCOradio.com. And WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Problems for South 100 near Duluth Street with an accident working. Left lane shut down. Traffic is slow as you make way through the area. And North 100, that's pretty much slow as you come up from Benton all the way up toward I-94. West 94 slows as move between Boone Avenue, Weaver Lake Road stretch, and it looks like you got your slowdowns continuing with Highway 36, both directions between 35E and 35W. USPS Ground Advantage reliable route's going to be 212 eastbound. No delays there as you come in from 41 all the way to Highway 62. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you have trees to trim or need tree removal, call an ISA certified arborist. Call the CCO Land Company I use. B&M Tree Service, 1-800-569-9034. Or get on the web, bnmtree.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
A nice night tonight with a partly cloudy sky down to 45 degrees. Mix of sun and clouds tomorrow with a high around 66. That's still below average. Mid-60s on Friday. Our one chance of rain comes late Friday into Saturday. By Memorial Day, we'll warm to the 80s.
Mostly sunny right now, 60 degrees at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Everything you need to know, all in one place. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
You watch our show streaming on YouTube or Facebook or X, you would see Jonathan calling out Laura's new haircut. Laura's hair looks great. She got a haircut yesterday, although
now shut up and drive.
I mean, I got a haircut too. Like, no, why is nobody saying anything about my haircut, Dan? It's not as cute as Laura's. That's why. That's fair. I just feel bad for my friend Andy, who cuts my hair. That Andy got himself a celebrity hair client, and it's me. It's a little disappointing, right? You're like, who would be the celebrity hair client that you would want, right? 651-461-9226. If you like somebody with just stunning hair on TV.
Local or national?
We could go local or national.
Because I think the local answer is pretty obvious.
Who do you think locally has the best hair in TV?
Your former colleague.
You're going to say Vassalero?
Vassalero, 100%.
The trick with the Vassalero hair is that people always wonder if it's fake or if
that's how you know how good it is. It's so good.
What if it's
people
fake,
think it's
though?
fake?
Yeah. Vassalero would be a good one.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's fake. I think that like the TV lighting makes it, I don't know, it is pretty dark in real life. Do you think he colors it? I've never asked.
I have no idea.
I don't care.
I don't either. It's a great head of hair.
I am jealous of the hair.
The other local one that I would come to the table with immediately is Mr. Keyshaw, Luke Keyshaw from the Twins.
Oh, it's stunning. Yeah.
Great flow.
Great flow.
Great flow.
Randy Meyer, a texter says. Randy Meyer has great hair
Pretty good.
also.
Pretty good.
Paul Allen from K-Fan. He has
excellent head of hair.
Yeah. That's a pretty good. That would be a good celebrity client. Nas Reed.
Sure.
Trying to think. Yeah. Yeah. That would be a good, your TV people, like, do you have outside of Frank, like, I'm trying to think, like, there used to be a website that like ranked like the best anchor hair or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what the weirdest website was?
I mean, there's some candidates. Where do you want to go?
There was a local, and this was a Minnesota person who ran this website, but it was about TV women wearing boots.
Okay.
And it started out
I was fearing you were going to go to the feet.
Well, it started not that creepy.
I mean,
I don't know. Like you just like look at these boots. I don't know.
I don't think it was really the boots.
It wasn't that?
I don't think it was really the boots.
What do you think it was?
No, I think this is a foot fetish.
But you're not seeing any feet. It's just a boot.
But the shape of the boot gives you the window to the feet.
I don't know about that. If you have a foot fetish, is the boot enough?
No, which is why it didn't stay there. Like you said, that's how it started. But then where did it go?
Got a little creepy.
Exactly.
For me.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah. The foot fetish is that it's not the weirdest fetish. Like if you had to rank,
it's on the list.
You think so?
I think so. But see, I'm, whatever the opposite of a foot fetishist is, I find feet the most disgusting thing in the world. So to me, being a foot fetish person is like being from Neptune. I don't
just
conceive of it at all.
Yeah. I feel like we've gotten off on the wrong track.
I really think we veered from where we were intending to go, which is kind of the nature of this show.
Colin Jost from Saturday Night Live. Yes.
Great head of hair.
Do you think the reason that he got, like his wife is
Scarlett Johansson,
and you're like, all right, like Scarlett Johansson, that's pulling a pretty good catch.
And you're saying that she wouldn't say the same thing about her husband? How reverse sexist are you?
Pretty reverse sexist. I'm pretty sexist against
He's
men.
a handsome devil.
He is. His hair is stunning.
Great head of hair. Funny guy. Women love funny guys.
Do women love funny guys? Or do you think they just say they like funny guys? I mean, maybe this, to me, reflects very well on Scarlett Johansson.
How much do you hate the female of the species? I mean, seriously.
Women, do you love funny guys? Or is this just what...
Why does everything have to be subtext? Why can't they just like funny guys?
I believe that women say they like funny guys because it's less acceptable to say that, like, you just like a hot guy. So you say you like funny guys to throw some hope out there for the dopey looking funny guys. But when push comes to shove, who are they picking? Hot guy or funny guy?
First of all,
pick a side, hot guy or funny guy.
First of all, why do you have to rob me of my hope?
You are very funny.
Thank you. Second of all, seriously, why do you hate women? I don't understand. What is this? They can't just like funny guys. It has to be some sort of subtext. It has to be some kind of conspiracy.
Other great hair, Lou Ragoose. Yeah.
Solid.
Lou Ragoose.
Yeah.
Very good hair. Amelia.
Sure.
Amelia has great hair. Amelia Santinella, let me tell you, here is a woman that as time has passed, she gets better looking. It's sort of whatever she is doing, you would like to bottle that up and sell it because it is unbelievable.
But apparently if she says she appreciates Frank's sense of humor, she's lying.
Well, Frank's not that funny. Smart.
I don't know. He's always been very charming when I've talked to him.
Janice Shortle has good hair.
Sure.
That'd be a good hair client. Now, Jonathan says Dan Cook. I think, again, when's the last time that you got a haircut? Like
Well, I mean,
from a guy.
I was going to say, when the last time I paid for a haircut?
Right.
Probably be 1995, somewhere in that range.
Man, you think about what you've saved.
Oh, trust me. And you've seen the pictures.
Yeah.
I'm way better looking without hair than I was with
It's
hair.
true.
It's not close.
Yeah, this was some nonsense here. Speaking of my hair guy, Andy, so both of my college kids are home right now, and Sam is going to get his haircut tomorrow. Now, I'm taking a chance that Sam isn't listening right now.
I think that's a pretty fair bet on your part.
Well, they might be on their way somewhere, and sometimes they hear,
Speaking of terrific heads of hair, by the way.
Yeah, Sam has great hair.
Sam has great hair.
So Sam is going to get his haircut tomorrow from the same guy, Andy, in St. Paul. And I prepaid for Sam's haircut when I was there yesterday. So I paid for it.
That's nice of you.
But I asked Andy to screw with Sam. Like when Sam...
Break out the clippers.
No, but like when Sam tries to pay... say that the card's been declined.
Oh, that's good too.
Or just like,
Yeah.
Oh, our prices went up. It's $120 now. I mean, many options of how you could mess with them.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'll report.
Was Andy down to do this?
Yeah.
He was in on it a bit.
Oh, yeah. He is. He is all in on that. Why don't we break?
We could do that.
And when we come back.
By the way, this is Jonathan's fault. Let's call this for what it is. This is now the second segment of the show that has been utterly hijacked by a listener, and probably for the better.
It's for the better. It's fine. Oh,
but it's 100% on Jonathan that we got down this sidetrack.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's kind of annoying when they do a better show at home,
We have a couple texts, a couple suggestions as to topics we should talk about. We're going to do them both when we come back. One, the Minneapolis Public Schools wants to build a freaking school when half of the schools in the district are half empty. Dumbest, craziest unit of government in our state has to be the school board. We'll talk about that. And cheaters. Easy pass cheaters. I thought Minnesotans were honest rule followers. Are you surprised how many of your neighbors are absolute robbing, thieving cheaters? Drive time back in a minute.
DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Tell you who will never rob or cheat from you, and that is the Canopy Group and thecanopygroup.com. It's Jason here for absolutely the most honest, most fair insurance brokers around. The Canopy Group does something that I think is so cool, and I love it. I'm a comparison shopper, but I don't have the time to call 16 different insurance companies, home and auto, and say, like, here's my scenario, here's my deductible, here's my coverage, on and on and on. The Canopy Group, that is their system. One call, you get 16 companies. And they're going to mix and match and make sure you get the best coverage for the best price. Right now, you probably have one insurance agent, one company. 81% of Minnesotans, that's their setup. 800-967-3389 is the number. Thecanopygroup.com is the website. When I went to thecanopygroup.com for my home and auto insurance, it took about 10 minutes. Said, here's my zip code, here's my address, here's how old my roof is, here, on and on. Then they went to work. Ran the numbers, went through all these companies. I saved $820 my first year. See what they could do for you. What are you waiting for? No obligation. Let the Canopy Group do the work. You just get better coverage at a better price. Thecanopygroup.com. Gas prices are up. Luther Kia of Bloomington is there for you. It's Jason DeRusha. I love my Kia, and I love Dan Dingman and his team, plus their brand new facility. More room, more service bays, more Kia excellence. EVs, hybrids, the red hot 2027 Telluride. I just test drove it. It is awesome. Get to 35W and 494 and check out 0% financing on Sportages and Sorrentos at Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at GutmanLaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, GutmanLaw.com. It's Jordana, and I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trusts, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Reth Wagner. This is their focus: wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, GutmanLaw.com. GutmanLaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW-1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Jason DeRusha.
You can't have people telling you 24/7 that you're great. You need people around you to say, hey, that's a bad idea.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Under no circumstance should the city of Minneapolis be building a new school. I've been harping for years on the fact that our school boards are cowards and are afraid to make a decision that's going to tick off people in their district. And it's a decision that has to be made. We have too many buildings, not enough students. And it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. The schools is considering, according to the Minnesota Star Tribune, building a brand new $105 million school. And the school board 2 years ago sort of set this Anishinaabe Academy project moving forward. It would, and this academy already exists. So they would build this school on the site of a former school in Longfellow. And the idea is to have instruction in native language and culture. And it's long been promised its own building. And I would say, I'm sorry. You were promised an old building, a new building, and you're not going to get it. We do not have the money. We do not have the enrollment. This is malpractice to waste taxpayer money in this way. Anishinaabe has fewer than 220 students. The building would house 650 to 700 students, and guess what? It'll probably have 300. And it'll be another school in Minneapolis that is half empty. What are these school board members doing? Ridiculous. Now, I get it. It is emotional, and we see this not just in Minneapolis. Every school district that closes a school and builds a new one, because population shifts happen, boundary lines change. But our school districts are just, they're kicking the can down the road, hoping for a future that is never going to arrive. The demographics are clear. Young people are not having more and more children. We do not need more schools. We need less. There is such demand for specialized programming, special education, after-school care, extracurriculars, that the trend is towards bigger and bigger schools, not smaller schools. And while I emotionally understand that, like, when you buy a house and you think there's part of why you bought that house is because there's a school up the street, you know what? Life happens, guys. Like, sometimes things don't work out the way you hoped. And so if it's so important to you, move. We cannot keep spending money like there's going to be some sort of imaginary future that's going to rescue us from this spending. It's not coming. It's not coming. And the fact that there's even any discussion about this is crazy. It's crazy. Now, yes, you can make a case that we have incredible racial disparity. And in the Minneapolis school district, there are big differences in outcome between white students and black students and Native students. Do you need a new building to fix that? Do you need a new building built for 800 kids that cost $100 million? And how many Native students are you potentially going to have? It just doesn't make any sense to me. Where are the grown-ups to say, nope, can't do it? Just to design it right now, you'd have to spend $2 million. What are we doing? You got to close. You got to close buildings. And closing buildings alone doesn't solve all your problems. It doesn't, unless you sell the property, you still are holding some cost there in maintaining it. But I think you need to sell some of this property. You need to knock some of these schools down and build houses. Minneapolis needs more housing. We just need to face reality. There's not all of a sudden going to be this influx of tens of thousands of students in Minneapolis. It's just get it together. Build a new school. And then they're going to come to the state asking for more money, and like the taxpayers should be helping the city of Minneapolis. Get your act together. Not the city, the public schools in Minneapolis. But come on. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. Second thing that has me out of my mind today is the fact that so many of you are just absolute liars and cheats. Axios Twin Cities today shared MnDOT data that gives an estimate, daily traffic, how many people are lying and riding the MNPASS lane without turning it on, the easy pass lane. And so they're not paying the toll. The system-wide average is 46%. The biggest liars and cheats are you South Metro people, Minneapolis to Burnsville, 52%. Every other vehicle in the same lane is a cheater. 35E from St. Paul to White Bear Lake, that northbound part of 35E, 46% they estimate. Now, the least amount of cheaters are to the West Metro. That's the only sane lane that I ever use. You're welcome for turning on my transponder. 32%. Why do we think that's the lowest amount of cheaters? Do we think people in Wayzata are somehow like more trustworthy? Ha! I do not think so. The reason is because every day when you drive 394 out in the West Metro, and Dan, you make this trip, it's because there are state troopers out there pulling people over. Mm-hmm. There are always people getting pulled over. And so if you do not fear that you are going to get caught, I'm ashamed of you guys. Just because you think you're not going to get caught, you're like, I'm taking a freebie. That is human nature. I thought we were better than this, Dan. I thought we were better, and we're not. We're not. We're as fraudulent. You guys are as bad as the feeding our future fraudster.
My favorite quote from the story in the strip about this was somebody, there was a state patrol officer that had pulled somebody over and asked, why are you trying to do this? And the person was just honest, which I love when they do this. Their answer was, I didn't think I was going to get caught. So it's not like people are confused and just don't understand what the restrictions are or how to operate the equipment or when to be there and when not to be there. You know, like on 394, when you're out west enough, the lanes become mixed use, right? If it's not rush hour, you can be in it, but if it is rush hour, you can't, that kind of thing.
Right.
It's not any confusion over that. It's people who legitimately understand what the point of these lanes are and say, I don't care. I need to get where I'm going, and there's space over there. I'm doing it. I'm taking the risk and seeing what happens.
It's sort of like the coworkers here that park for free at the parking meter, hoping they're not going to get caught.
You know what it's like? It's like the people at baseball parks that sit in cheap seats and then move down and try to cheat the system.
It is
and
sort
sit
of
in the spendy seats.
It is thievery.
That's what it is.
It is thievery. Texter says we suck. We kind of do. We kind of suck. In that vein, enough is next. What have you had enough of? What do you think sucks? Let's hear it. 651-461-9226. I'd love to have some calls. Tons of text as always. We've got the voice message feature as well on the Odyssey app. Just click the microphone and record your message. It comes right into Dan. What have you had enough of? We'll do it next here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by University of Maryland Global Campus.
Early OpenAI employees received a massive windfall. The Wall Street Journal reports that OpenAI allowed employees to sell up to $30 million worth of the company's stock in a recent financing, with more than 600 current and former OpenAI employees selling a combined $6.6 billion worth of OpenAI stock. The Journal says 75 OpenAI employees sold the full $30 million worth of stock. I'm Jason Brooks.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. No application fee if you apply by June 1st. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by SHAP.
Family owned, premium menswear, unbelievable people. J.H. and Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It's Jason here for J.H. and Sons. I was emceeing a big charity event a couple weeks ago. And who was there to help me out? J.H. and Sons. Oh my goodness, this tuxedo I was wearing, the bow tie, all came for the team at J.H. But then we had a more casual night, and guess what? That outfit also came from J.H. and Sons. Unbelievable people, unbelievable clothing, all available for you at the Galleria in Edina. Now, J.H. and Sons is the next generation project behind the family that created Halberstadt. So, you know, in St. Cloud, great men's store. Jeff Halberstadt is the next generation, along with his sons, that has created just a special destination. You got to go there to experience it. The Galleria, it's a beautiful store with people that know how to find clothes that fit your body, that work for your needs. From suits, wedding wear, special events, to a night on the town. Get to the Galleria, get to jhandsons.com, sign up for their email list, but go visit that store and tell them you heard about it on Drive Time.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Carpal tunnel syndrome, heart failure that doesn't improve with common medicines. These are some signs and symptoms associated with ATTR-CM, or the cardiomyopathy of ATTR amyloidosis, a serious heart condition with symptoms that get worse over time. Amvuttra, vutrisiran, is a prescription medicine given by a healthcare provider that treats ATTR-CM in adults to reduce heart-related death, hospital stays, and urgent visits. In a clinical study, Amvuttra was proven to help people live longer and have fewer heart-related hospital stays and urgent visits over 3 years compared to placebo. Amvuttra lowers the amount of vitamin A in your blood, which can affect vision. Other side effects include pain in the arms or legs, pain in the joints, and shortness of breath. These are not all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTRCM.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Got your slowdown South 35W as move between 98th Street and Highway 13, traveling on around 35E. Get ready for slowdowns there between Highway 62 and Wheelock Parkway. East 94 slows into St. Paul's, make way past Snelling Avenue, and delays continue 494 northbound, Highway 62, heading up toward Carlson Parkway. Save on picnicking must-haves at Whole Foods Market. Get 20% off cut watermelon chunks with Prime through May 26. Just grab a blanket and this ready to enjoy a snack and go. While supplies last, shop in store, online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
You sit on your deck and you're sick of looking at your crappy siding. Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. JTR Roofing has you covered from the roof on down, serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
JTR Roofing bringing us the weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Partly cloudy the next couple of days. 45 will be the overnight low tonight. 66 the high tomorrow. Most of the day on Friday is dry. We have some rain showers coming in late after a high of 65. Rain will linger into Saturday and then eventually move out. Upper 70s by Sunday. Mid 80s likely on Memorial Day.
All right, mid 80s, finally warm enough to get out on that patio at the Minneapolis Club. Yeah, it's such a great patio. Charlie's open. Father's Day coming up. Think about taking Dad to dinner at Charlie's over at the Minneapolis Club. Right now in Lakeville, it's 61 and sunny on CCO.
Drive time with DeRusha.
Look, I'm more aligned with the old people. Okay, I am.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore. I have had enough. Enough is enough. Enough.
It is your time to vent. Enough. What have you had enough of? 651-461-9226. Lots of people texting about the cheaters. On the sane lanes. Come on, man. I've had enough at how, like, socially acceptable it is to steal. And by not paying the toll on the highway, you are stealing. You're stealing. Texter says, I use that lane because I think the law is arbitrary and the lane should be open for everybody's use. Well, I think I should sit courtside at every Timberwolves game. So should I just go plop my butt down? I go, what is that? If I were caught tomorrow and I know the fine is high, I would probably still be in the lane the next day. Come on, man. Not great. Enough. Texter says, enough people drenching themselves in cologne and coming up to a service counter. I can't breathe. Dan, I may be guilty. I'm occasionally guilty of over-cologning myself. By the time I get here to work, usually it's not. Is it? I don't know.
No. I mean, there are times where it's noticeable, but not in a way that I would say, oh my God, go wash that off.
Yeah. It's supposed to be a little noticeable.
Yeah. There are days it's more noticeable than other days.
Yeah. Depending on the.
Sure.
You know what? I've had enough of the no aroma people. This is like, I get it at the doctor's office, sort of. This is an aroma sensitive. Why?
I mean, there are people that can't handle it. Like, for whatever reason, however they're wired, their biology, that kind of prominent scent really does cause them issues.
Sure.
So I get that. And then perhaps at a doctor's office, it's more acute.
I think it feels more acceptable, but like also I don't like people coughing. Like you don't put a sign up that says shut your yap.
Coughing is sort of reflexive. Cologne, not so much. More of a choice on that end.
I don't care for your logic. 651-461-9226.
I got one.
Let's hear it.
I've had enough of fake tough people. I've had enough of. So here's the situation. Monday was at the graduation ceremony. You understand when you go to a graduation ceremony, they're always going to tell you that, hold your applause to the end, please, so everybody can hear the names and everything.
And no one does.
No one does.
It's dumb. Why do they tell people to do it?
I think it's because then they can tell people that complain about it, look, we tried.
We tried.
That's
it's
what they're
fine.
doing.
I think people should be able to like.
So here's the thing. We
do
get
the
down
clap.
towards the end of it. There's a group of young women that are their names are being read. And there's some connection, whether it's familial or whatever, community connection, where there's a gentleman up behind me that's cheering for each one of these people in a row. And it's like 6 or 7 kids.
A little annoying.
And Karen down in the row in front of me does the big exaggerated turnaround look on her face. Like that's going to do anything. And she does it every single time this guy cheers. As though he just didn't see her the first 3 times that she gave him the stink eye. And there's a part of me, look, I'm not an advocate for violence in any way, shape, or form, full stop. But either do something or just shut up and turn around and just do your thing.
Enough.
I've had enough of this fake tough nonsense. It's Nikola Jokic running up to Jaden McDaniels and, like he's going to do something and then just standing there like a big dope. Just stop it. It's every baseball fight ever. Just stop it. I've had enough.
I do think people who get bent out of shape over like the cheering, the excessive cheering or the screaming at a graduation should lighten up. Like I've had enough of their complaints. Like,
well, and this was,
it's bad if you scream and then you can't hear your kid's name.
Right.
But you know what?
This was an arena, by the way. This is a hockey arena with quite the sound system. Everybody heard their name. Trust me.
Also, like, is it that important to hear your kid's name? It's just a name. Just say it yourself. It's fine. Like, that's the whole point. It is the funny thing about graduation ceremonies. You sit there for 2.5 hours to hear someone say the name that you gave your own child.
Right.
It's not that exciting.
But coming over a speaker somehow, it
It's
takes
so
on a
special.
magical property.
I don't know. Doesn't do much for me. Frank on YouTube, Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I do hope your kids aren't listening now, you just tell them that their graduations meant nothing to you.
Well, Sam spoke, so that was more meaningful. Now, you were at your nephew's, right?
Yeah.
And Cook had to be pretty early.
Well, it would have been had they been alphabetical, but they grouped it by school or something within Carlson.
Got it.
He was actually very much towards the end. And it was, like I said, it was over 400 kids.
Would you have laughed if you were early?
I couldn't have because my folks were there and there's no way they were leaving. So, and I drove them there. So that's,
There's that.
Did plenty of people leave when their person got read? Absolutely, they did. 100%.
I think that's fine.
I had no problem with that at all.
The cars that need serious auto body work has gotten out of hand. Enough. More body work for someone else hit by your flying stuff. I brought Alyssa's car, so I closed the garage on Alyssa's open trunk.
Whoops.
And let me tell you that garage door, metal on metal moment, as soon as you hear it, you know that you screwed up. But there's a minor dent. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches long. And it's going to cost $1,000 to fix. Oof. Because, they got to take off you got to disassemble the headlights and take off. I got 2 estimates. They were almost identical, which either tells you that no one's ripping you off or everyone's ripping you off.
Ripping you off.
I don't think anyone's ripping anybody off, but the cost of, just labor, and even these parts, so high. Oof. Enough with the people who still have Christmas decorations up.
Wait a minute.
Especially the dried out wreath. Take it down. I do think once you've arrived at May 20th, you can take down the wreath.
Dried out wreath is a
Take
fire
down.
hazard. I'll give them that. But
I think you should.
Outside of that, if people are brought joy by Christmas decorations, by all means, let them do their thing.
I disagree. It's seasonal decorations. The season is over. Ron in Mankato, you're on CCO. What have you had enough of, Ron?
I've had enough of these righteous people that every time you try to defend someone coming across the border illegally and sympathize with their situation, they say, but they broke the law. Well, if you're so concerned about breaking the law, next time you speed 80 miles an hour down, make sure you turn yourself in. Next time you cheat on your taxes, make sure you turn yourself in. If the law is so important to you, yes, they do break the law, but
Yeah.
I've got to have some sympathy.
I like it. I like it. The you break the law bit, Ron, is a little ridiculous. It's a little ridiculous. Like, there are different laws of different severity, and there are different consequences that go with them. This idea that, like, nobody's above the law. Law is the law. That's what you say when it's somebody you don't like. That's sort of how that goes. We got tons of enough.
We also have a couple of voice
messages.
So, yeah, we'll play those when we get back.
Sounds good. We'll play your voice messages. Keep them coming using the Odyssey app. Go ahead and send us a message of what you've had enough of, or give us a call, 651-461-9226.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
3,000 family pig farmers working so hard every day to take care of their pigs, their people, and the planet. And their entire life's work has been reduced to an idiot on the radio saying, oh, yeah, it's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. I love talking about them. I love telling their story because it is, in my mind, key to what makes Minnesota so great. People working hard. Every day they got to wake up. They got work to do. And they're doing it because they care about our community. They care about our state. They care about our country. And they care about the world. Family pig farmers. Enjoy that pork chop. Enjoy that. Oh, this weekend, wouldn't it be nice to throw a nice rack of ribs on the smoker and let her rip? Or how about a slow cooker, even if you're still feeling that? Get that pork shoulder in there. Maybe you need some inspiration, and you can find that at tastewhatporkcando.com. Tastewhatporkcando.com is the website where you should check. Put flavor on the table. Minnesota Pork is all about these incredible people. But the bottom line is that pork is versatile. It's lean. It's high in protein. It's delicious. It's part of my diet each and every week. Get to the grocery store or butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Scalpel. Sponge. How we looking?
Looks good. BP is steady. 115/80.
All right, team. Let's close them up.
Wait, you're not Dr. Kelly.
Oh, no. But I did listen to a few segments about healthcare last week on News Talk 830.
We can't promise you'll suddenly be an expert, but you will be more informed. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Unlock smart business buying with fast, free delivery on millions of items and practical AI innovations that automate repetitive tasks so you can make smarter decisions faster. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
Losing a loved one is difficult enough without having to worry about paying property taxes on a home you inherited. That's really tough. If you're in a situation where you have to sell a property you inherited, you can trust my friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita. The good neighbor agent just helped Scott, a fellow WCCO radio listener, get his family home sold. He was going through a lot after his loss and wanted a quick, stress-free process. John's a compassionate guy. He was patient with Scott and also assured him he could get the job done fast without adding any stress. It took him less than 2 weeks to sell Scott's house. The buyer paid $10,000 over asking price. John made a stressful situation a lot easier for Scott. John makes selling easy. Want to know what your home is worth? Find out in seconds on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for detail.
My dad passed away unexpectedly. Of course, it was awful in every way, but we are very grateful that he had life insurance. So even after he was gone, he was still able to provide for us. And that's why I have life insurance for my family. Ethos.com. They make it fast and easy to get covered. It's 100% online. You get a quote in seconds. You can apply in minutes. You get covered the same day.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Looking for something smart, soulful, and full of heart? I'm Jen Hatmaker, host of For the Love, the podcast where we talk about what really matters. Love and family, faith and purpose. Every week, I'm joined by incredible guests for honest conversations that invite all of us to live with more intention, more laughter, and more connection. Join us on For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Plenty of slow stuff out there. Cedar South included. Killabrew Drive heading down to Highway 13. 494 northbound still slows between Highway 62 and Highway 55. Traveling north 100. Get ready for slowdowns as you move up from Bass Lake Road to I-94 and 694 westbound's jammed up Victoria Street, heading over toward 252. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Cold. It's a little coldish, right? Tonight, 45. Tomorrow, only 66. Friday, 65. Rain late Friday into early Saturday, and then it heats up. Should be a nice weekend. Sunday looks perfect. Memorial Day, 84. Why am I working? What am I doing? 61, mostly sunny on season.
Steering you through what matters. Drive time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Enough! Every Wednesday at 5:30, we let you vent about anything. We call it Enough. And you can send us a voice message at any point using the Odyssey app, right where you listen live to CCO. There's a microphone where you can send a message to the studio. And we have two of them. So you can do this anytime during the week for any segment, anything we're ever talking about. It's a nice, easy, convenient way where you can record and you don't have to sit on hold. And Dan, our first voice
first one
message.
says it's Vernon in Houston, Texas.
Okay, here we go.
People laughing at me when I tell them I'm from the dysfunctional state of Minnesota.
That would get old, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is fascinating. We had this sort of period where people, and it depends who you're talking to, right? Because there are people who are like, oh, Minnesota, you guys stood up to the Trump administration, or you stood up to the sort of shady behavior of the ICE agent. And then there also are people that are like, what in the hell is going on in Minnesota? Fraud City? You guys are losing it over there. Yeah. File that under multiple things can be true at the same time.
Exactly. And then we have Jeff, who's in Minneapolis.
Public utilities such as Comcast, or are they a public utility? Anyway, after being on hold for 45 minutes, I had a 15-minute phone call with them, and they used my first name 15 times in 15 minutes. They don't know me. They overuse my name. We're not friends, and it ticks me off.
Jeff, I understand where you're coming from, Jeff, and it is, I think, understandable, your irritation. Jeff, what I want to promise you is that we are going to dedicate ourselves to figuring out a way, frankly, a way of thanking you, Jeff, for your listening, for your business, for your time. Jeff, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you, Jeff, for using the talkback feature on the Odyssey app. Jeff, you have a good night. Yeah, that would be very annoying.
Yeah, that would get old.
Very annoying.
Not good.
They just want to prove, do we think it's real? A real person? An AI person?
I think it's real, and I think it's obviously a script where it says insert name here.
Yeah. Texters say, enough of the ignorant drivers who keep pulling out in front of me in recent weeks. I've had more close calls in the past month than I usually see in over 2 years, says Paul in Coon Rapids. I think Paul's right. I've noticed this too. The people who are playing Frogger on the highway, it's sort of, it's out of control. You're like, and of course it's always like you end up pulling up and passing these people in 3 minutes. You're like, what was so urgent that you had to weave in it? It just drives me nuts. I have also had enough of Minneapolis, St. Paul, Minnesota whining when some national report doesn't have us as number one. Today, the whining has been about the fact that Minneapolis, once again, did not rank as the nation's top park system. So first of all, does anyone in their right mind think Minneapolis has the best freaking park system in the nation? Get a clue? We do not. We have a great setup of parks. Yes, we've satisfied some sort of delightful metric that like, oh, everybody's within a 10-minute walk. Who cares? We do not have the best parks in the country. Oh, you think our parks are better than Washington, D.C.? Yeah, what lame parks they have there. Ever been on the National Mall? Give me a break. It's all right to be in the top 5. It's fine. You're like, pretty good. Well, we're just getting hosed again. So stupid. How delusional are we? Like, I love this place, but like, let's keep it real. All right? You don't see me mad when this radio show never is in the top 20 of Afternoon Drive, and I tell you, we're better than some of the crap that's ahead of us. Continental Diamond time check. 5:57. I'll see you tomorrow. Henry's back.
Protect your family with the Byrna Less Lethal Launcher. Trusted